Hello, welcome to the RP1.VC suite of video conferencing services. In this video, you'll learn how to register your Polycom VVX endpoint to the RP1Rooms service. If you're already familiar with how to manage your RP1Rooms, skip ahead to see how you configure your trio with RP1Rooms credentials. With RP1Rooms, you can leverage your existing infrastructure and enable the most reliable, secure, and simple video calls from your meeting spaces. There is no software required to register. Say hello to secure calls because RP1Rooms are not vulnerable to security breaches or spam. And RP1Rooms calls just work. You can be certain your calls will go flawlessly every time with guaranteed system security. Packet loss, freezing, and dropped calls become a thing of the past. Registering your endpoint with RP1Rooms gives that endpoint a personalized address that's as easy to remember as an email address. And you can call from room to room by quickly accessing RP1Room endpoints via your directory. Create favorites and preset options with one-click dialing and zero-touch joining. It doesn't get any simpler than that. Using RP1Rooms requires 3 simple steps. First, you'll need an RP1Rooms license. Please contact us for more information and we can set you up within minutes. Second, you'll want to create your RP1Rooms via the RP1.VC portal. Third, you'll want to configure your endpoint with your RP1Rooms credentials. Once you have your RP1Rooms license, log into the RP1.VC portal and create your RP1Rooms. Each endpoint for which you have purchased a license will be an RP1Room. The RP1Rooms page shows how many licenses you have and the number of licenses used. If you have previously registered rooms, they will appear in a table along with their status, SIP URI, and username. In the rightmost column, you will find a series of action buttons that will allow you to edit, disable, and delete the rooms. Let's go ahead and create an RP1Room. Click Add Room. Enter a room name, username, and password for that RP1Room. Finally, enter the prefix of the SIP URI to complete the personalized endpoint email address. Notice the domain has already been preset based on preferences you would have provided to the RP1 Cloud support team. Click Add to save your RP1Room. Please remember the password as you'll need it later. The next and final step will be to configure your VVX endpoint with the RP1Rooms credentials you just created. We recommend you export your RP1Rooms information and keep it handy for the following steps. With your RP1Rooms created, the next step is to configure your VVX endpoint. Before we proceed, please ensure the VVX is turned on and connected to the same network as your computer. You'll need the VVX IP address at this stage. To obtain the VVX system's IP address, turn on the VVX. Tap the settings icon on the home screen. Then tap Status, Platform, and Phone to find the IP address. Open your browser and log into the VVX with the IP address you captured. Using Chrome, we'll enter the VVX IP address in the browser address line. For example, it should look something like this. Log into the Polycom Web Configuration Utility Device portal. In the username field, please select Admin. In the password field, you will enter 456 and click the Submit button. If the unit was previously programmed, input the original login details. Now we can configure the VVX in a few simple steps. Click the Simple Setup tab in the dashboard. Open the SIP server drop-down menu. Enter sip.rp1.cc for the address and 5060 for the port. Now open the SIP line identification drop-down menu. The display name is the name people will see when you're calling them from that device. The address is the SIP URI you created in RP1Rooms. The authentication user ID is the username you created in RP1Rooms. The authentication password is the password you created in RP1Rooms. And the label is the name you wish to have on your endpoint screen. Scroll to the bottom of the screen and click Save. And that's it. Your Polycom VVX is now registered to RP1Rooms. Now we can place a test call to your endpoint. Point your browser to the rp1.vc portal and log into your account. Click the Initiate Dialout button found underneath the Start Meeting and Record Meeting buttons. Click the RP1Rooms tab and find the RP1 room you just created earlier and click the Add button next to it. Then click the Start Meeting and Add Participants button. The endpoint you registered will ring. Accept the call on the endpoint and congratulations! Dialing out to a device registered to RP1 Rooms is that easy. Thanks for watching.